In CLO, you get default fabrics, fabric 1, fabric 2 and all. These fabrics actually have no character traits of its own. It does not, it behaves like no fabric at all. It is just a, like say, paper given to you to start working on it, which is actually a soft paper. Think of it like that. Now you have to make it into a real fabric. Each fabric has different properties, like there is different luster, there is different stretch, there is different reflection of light, there is different thickness. All of these things are there in different fabrics. So it CLO allows you, when you click on this fabric, you see some properties coming here. On these properties there is something called as material, right here,
Okay.
right? So under material you will see type of fabric. If you click on fabric mat, it gives you some basic fabric options like shiny fabric, silk, satin fabric, velvet fabric. So if I select velvet, see the fabric property now changes. Now you have some character to this fabric, which is like, say, since velvet has high luster, this fabric is also exhibiting high. There are some fabric types here. You can change it to whatever fabrics you want to, like leather, and then you can change the color to see the properties of it. See, if I change the color of it and if I make it to leather, it kind of looks like leather, right? Then when I go ahead and I change it to plastic, it looks like plastic. When I change it to metal, it looks like metal, right? So you can change all the properties of these fabrics. These are the few. See, there is something called as fur, gem, glass, glitter, iridescence. These are saying render only. What does this mean? Okay, listen to me very carefully. When they say render only, if I put glass here, I will not be able to see changes here, because for it to make it look like a glass, a lot of reflection is required. Our application is not strong enough to be able to show it here. Okay, so we have to render the image to be able to see it. By rendering, what I mean is, do not go ahead with, do not get trouble with the word render. A word render is basically converting this photo into this garment into a photo. How do we convert this garment into a photo is, I'll show you. You have a render button on top. I have right now selected glass as a fabric. If I go to render and if I click on render, a new screen will come, right? That is a render window. You will be able to see some fabrics only in the render window because it needs a lot of power for computer to show those fabrics to us, like glass, like fur. Fur also has too many threads, so there's just too much computing happening there. That's why it's not able to show. It's not able to show us here also. For us to be able to see the rendered image, we have to click on this top button called as interactive render. Once I click on this button, I'll be able to see glass, fur and difficult reflective fabrics like that. Wait and watch. I have made it to glass. What we'll see here is, let me convert it to transparent fabric. Yeah, see, if I'm, because I made it white, now it's actually a glass dress. It takes a while to render. See, you see how many pixels it's collecting. It is collecting a lot of pixels for us to, for it to show us glass. If I zoom in, you'll be able to see it's glass. Let me convert it to fur and show it to you. It's taking a lot of time for the pixels to collect all their data and reflect back, and that is why this 3D window is not strong enough to do that. 3D window helps us visualize it, but the only real picture of the garment can be seen in the render window. Yeah, okay, so we are moving on to finding more fabrics. Okay, since my library, everybody has a library on the left side. My library shows a lot of fabrics available here, right? But yours does not. Yeah, so what you can do is, you can actually download fabrics for yourself. How do you do that? you can click on the third icon from top, and once you click on that icon, you should be able to see a lot of assets coming. These are called assets. All right, you click on fabric and you'll be able to see a lot of fabrics coming here, right? Now this is basically CLO's library. Basically CLO company has its own library where you can download fabrics from. They've already understood that there are many people who need different kinds of fabrics, so they have created it. Now you can click on free and you will see some of the fabrics coming up here, right? You can actually click on it. When you scroll on it, you will be able to see what those fabrics look like. This looks like jute, this looks like probably cotton, right? This looks like denim, and you can go ahead and keep hovering over it and see how it goes. If you double click on it, it will take you to another website. You don't have to do that. It comes directly on your application itself. So you can go back to the application and you can see what fabrics are available. Okay guys, so this is basically you having access to a lot of fabrics. Whatever fabrics you want, you can actually drag and drop. There are some paid fabric. So CLO company has its library. Sometimes they give you paid fabric, sometimes they give you free fabrics. You can take whatever fabrics you want and you can apply it. Okay? Every time you apply fabrics on your garment, you will have more and more fabrics going on getting added to your object browser. Whatever fabrics I had applied so far, it has gotten into my object browser. Yeah, so you can do this a little bit and then see what fabrics do you like and how you can play with it. Okay, now uh, you can choose whatever fabrics you want to. There are the names of the fabrics given. Okay, now what if I want to change the prints? Now what if I want, what if I have a random print over the internet and I want to apply that print onto the garment? So I'm applying any random print onto the garment. So what am I doing is I'm going clicking onto the fabric. Just watch everybody now, and after this I will repeat again for you to do. So if I want to apply print, I'm clicking on the fabric. Then I'm going down to the properties, and below color there is something called as base color map. Okay, on the base color map there is like a 4 window given here. Okay, once I click on these 4 windows, a a file opening option comes. All right, I can go to wherever my images are. Like say I have these prints available for me, right? So I can click on this print and then I can open. You can apply prints like this. Okay, everybody apply prints and let me know if you face any problems so far. What you have to do is, this is the fabric. Click on the fabric, go down to the properties, and below the color you can see a base color map. Once you click on the 4 windows, you'll be able to see an option opening. There you can browse your computer to get prints, and then you can select any print and then you can apply it onto the garment. Any image can be applied like this as prints. Go for it. I'm sorry.
Ma'am, can we do this? 1/4 drop, half drop kind of thing with the modem.
You can. Good question. That is exactly what I'm coming to next. Yeah, give me a moment. If everybody has gone through this part of the process, I will tell you how to take one small print and make it into a tile and different kinds of tiles. Okay, so let's say I want another print. I'll add another print here, which is a single print. Let me find. I have it here somewhere. You can do all, you can, by the way, you can always do that on Photoshop and Illustrator. If you have Photoshop and all, you work on it, you can always do this. Let's say I want this print. Okay, no, this is not the correct print for it. Let's do this. Okay, yeah, let's do this. Right, so if I have this print, okay, what do I want to do is I want to edit the print of texture. So next to the base color, there only there is like the 4 button, there is a dustbin, and then there are 3 dots. You can click on these 3 dots and open the texture editor. Okay, once you open the texture editor, you have a grid coming here in front of you. Now once you select on this, you have like a gizmo here, right? Using that gizmo, you can increase the size of it, right? Or you can move the pattern. Right, now I've created this. Whatever you want to do with this, you can do it. You can also click on tile. Once you click on tile, you will be able to see this pattern tiling everywhere. This is still not the correct example for this, but yeah, let's see. Right, so to answer your question, you can increase the size of it, move it around, create half drop, whatever, however that works out for you. If you want to get optimum control on how to make the prints, then you can actually, best ways to take it to Photoshop and create your own print and then bring it onto the CLO as a form of an image. That is the best way to deal with it, because in CLO you can edit the texture, but there is the limitation. There's not 100% freedom like how Photoshop gives you that. This is not a texture editing tool, this is a garment construction tool. Texture editing is one part of it, and it is not as good as Photoshop can be used to do texture editing in a perfect way, right? So this is the best you can go here if you want to work with textures. Got an idea? If you want to try something, you can go ahead and try, or you can change your own prints and patterns. So what I want is, I want one logo at the back of it, right? What do I do? There is a particular place here in object browser. Okay, on the object browser you have something called as a graphic. Now graphic is different from print and texture. Graphic is one graphic. Okay, I click on it. Let me first change the, but I have to delete the print to be able to show the logo. Yeah, so I go to the graphic and then I click on add. Okay, and then I find a logo that I want to put, any brand name or anything, like for that matter, let's say I want to add cloak. Okay, this one, I add this in the library, it comes. You identify where the pattern is, like for me it is here at the back. I drag it and I drop it, it's here. Now how do I reduce and increase the size of it? I go to edit texture, I click on it, and then there is another kind of gizmo that comes here. Okay, once I select the logo, there is a different kind of gizmo that comes. I can either rotate it or reduce the size of it. I can do that like this here. If I want it, sometimes we have to put the logo at the back of the collar. Mostly that happens with brands, okay? I can make my avatar disappear by clicking on avatar display and let it go, and find the collar, and I put it here on the collar as well. Just drag and drop and place it. Make it small however you like it. Yeah, so now it's come at the back of the collar, look like this. Yeah, so you can now add any logos that you want to. Go for it. If you face any problems, please let me know. See, I have reduced the size. If I have two logos at the same time, I have one logo here and then I have another logo in the collar. If I change the size of one logo, it changes the size of the other logo, right? I have this logo also. If I change the size of it, this one also changes. What do I do to separately handle it is I simply copy it. I rename it to be collar logo, and the other one I rename it to be back logo, since they are different, right? And now you can separately place it wherever you want to. So the back logo works here like this. And for collar logo, I'll have to apply this one. I have to delete the back, apply collar logo, reduce the size. Yeah, go for it, do it, and you might face any problems because doing it for the first time. Let me know.